Okay, I'm probably just about to merge into... I just fixed my trousers. It's not that... I mean, I'm still making experiments, or as you could say it, I'm still simply trying to figure out how to do this. I just had an opportunity to watch. You see, I like this setup, you know? To me, there's a purpose. So now I have this thing, which is like a vest. It's like a jacket. But I feel like it's a bit tight here. So I wouldn't wear it So the idea is, I want the, I would wear it, but not with those arms, because it's too tight, it's restricting. But I can see this, right, if I take this off here, if I take it off here, I can turn it into a vest. Now there's no point about whether this is a good choice or not. It's just about, are you going to put in the work? Or are you not going to put in the work? Because I know if it's like this, I'm not going to wear it. But I could bring it like some kind of a cardigan. And now it's always the thing if you have something, but it's not mine. It has been given to me. Now this, I can safely take off and then replace it with something else. But of course, if you do it, I think there's material for that actually. Not sure if I have it here. But there are things which are actually made to, or meant to, take off, rip out string. But I can just take my multi-tool. I also have something with my tooth. So I put cloves on it again. Seems like some kind of maybe like an infection. Because I'm not brushing my teeth, right? I sometimes have to react to certain symptoms. Because I would like to keep them, my teeth. Right, I don't actually know why Gandhi lost his. Maybe he thought it was supposed to be like that. Because in that sense, we're all a bit weird children. Okay. People nosing around, trying to figure out if they can get to some kind of information that may be useful for them. Right, everybody wants information that they can use. I do this. You see what I'm saying, right? This is creative. And the more I create, maybe the less I destroy. So this is also part of recreation. I actually didn't plan this now. I don't have to know. So this label can also go. Because I know how to wash things, right? So 30 degrees. Right, this you just have to make sure that it doesn't bother you. For now, I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. Or you just do it proper without, because that's now the problem. At this stage, it's actually hard to say, you know, what I'm gonna do with all of these skills. You know, am I gonna make clothes and sell them on Etsy? Well, I think not, because I have a real problem with all this shipping stuff. I don't know, I'm not a great fan of shipping things, right? Always shipping everything across the globe. So I'd like to, I mean, my idea is to simply be where I am. Okay, I first have to check this. Okay, you see, here's my shoulder. So maybe I should give it a bit more space. It's always a fickle thing. I'm gonna cut it off a bit here. Now you see, there's like a line, I'm just gonna follow that. So I can see, maybe I have to fold it. I mean, I don't think sewing is actually that hard. Because first now what you want to get a feeling of how it sits when you just take off this thing. So people just throw clothes away, and I then take them and then I do something with it. Okay, now I'm just gonna do the other side because but you also have to feel like doing it, right? I only chose to do this now but I had this already for some time. I mean, the idea that people have is that if you live in some kind of a society, that you have to be, you know, that you have to socialize. But why? I mean, I do my work, you do your work. You know, people always want to socialize. And what you realize after having tried this for some time, that it's just wasting time. I mean, I'm here to be creative. Socializing, what people understand about socialization is just talking. And because they never do anything but talk, right? All they can do is talk. And which means they'll just end up gossiping. Wow, it's actually exactly... Okay, but now because it's, you know... So now, all I'm gonna do is... Okay, here you see now I cut it a bit too I'm just gonna do this really simple. Okay, which color, black or red? You could also, of course, do it yellow or something. But red is the color that I find is very agreeable with my ideas of maybe revolutions. Because what do, like, the word is a revolver. Everything revolved around the revolver. Okay, maybe that's a bit much. Sometimes I take too much string. But that too is, I would suggest, a matter of experience. So it's much better to simply do things than sit around and talk about doing things. I mean, you can say you will do something, but then you also have to do it. Because otherwise, all you created was words. Some people think that's enough. Well, it isn't. So you cannot play with me if you're a little kid. Okay, now I have to see how I actually want this to turn out. Because all I want is actually, I want to keep this from breaking apart. Which is why I'm going to go in here. Because there's this bit thicker part. Zack. I'm going to pull. Zack. And then the idea is to just... I mean, this is always a bit annoying. Doing stuff like this is always a bit annoying. So you just have to develop a method that works. And then you have to keep breathing. I just tried watching Mad God again and it's just so bad. I mean, it's just so bad. It should have been called Bad God. Because it's really... This is just really terrible. I mean, just because you take a long time to make something doesn't mean it's gonna be good, right? I mean, it's just disgusting. It's just so stupid, everything about it. I mean, I gave it another chance and I thought, nope. Before I watched The Boy and the Heron, I think that's a worthwhile creation. A very worthwhile creation. So all I can tell you from experience is that if you realize your neighbors are prone to sitting around, better don't tell them anything important. You know, speak about the weather, speak about really meaningless things, but everything else, just keep it to yourself, because they're just gonna use it for their own advantage, because that's the only thing they have. And for some time I have just tested people, I have told them certain things, and then I have checked what they are going to do with this kind of information. And in the end, I realized I knew who I could trust and who I couldn't trust. Some people I have tested by asking them, let's say, inviting them or asking them to join me, because I wanted to know who's true and who isn't. And what you learn in the end is that there are very few people that you can actually rely on in the end. And that most people just act like they have something to give, but they actually got nothing to give. So this Tippett guy, you can tell from the way the movie is made and the feeling the movie gives that he wanted more credit, right? Sometimes you have people on your team that do a certain kind of work because he worked for Star Wars and they think, they should have gotten more credit. So this movie is reeking of this feeling, look how great I am. But it's not great, it's just shit. It's useless. I cannot do anything with this. It's not even close to transformative, it's just the first level. You see something, and that's just disgust or something. I don't know, I'm just really picky of what I allow into my life. And I cannot say, this is simply a dirty mind. Right? It's just like if you look at Lord of the Rings and you see, let's say, Peter Jackson. What do you see when you see him? You see Tolkien, who was a really thin man. He went to war and he created something beautiful, right? That has great depth. And then comes Peter Jackson, who just uses this work and completely defiles it. Not just that he takes away the depth and just turns it into something material, or that just happens on the surface, right? Sound, looking at it, but nothing really actually good. It's just a complete overload. And then you see that even the characters have been defiled. Like that scene where in the third movie where Gandalf is facing the Lord of the Wraith. What you realize is that never happened in the book at all. Gandalf never had to face that guy, the Witch King of Angmar. And he never broke his staff. So why did he have to do that, right? Why did he picture Gandalf like this in the movie? Also, the way Aragorn is portrayed in the book is remarkably different. Like his entire being, his motivations in the book, he knows that he's going to be king. And he lives to prepare himself for it. And in the book, he's like, I don't want to be king and I'm so in love. But, in the book, he's already carrying the sword with him. He doesn't get it in Rivendell. So why did Peter Jackson turn this into such a sob story? Also Frodo. If you watch the movie, you get this feeling that Frodo is this whiny guy who's just running around like, I'm so sad. I have no hope. I love Smeagol so much. That never happened in the books. Frodo is very laid back. He's also very stern. And he knows how to push through. And he never once completely trusts Smeagol. He just sees that they need him as a guide. And sure, right, you can feel pity in that kind of stuff. But it's better for your ankles to sit like this and for your entire structure, everything. So, I don't know. I'm just recording things because people are stuck at watching things. I wouldn't record this if there weren't any platforms. You see, this is quite a job, right? This is gonna take time. So this is gonna take time away from other things. but this is actually you engage with your hands. This is also about precision. This is about stamina, especially if you want to do this sitting like this. This is about creating something for yourself. I mean, this is what you should be doing. I mean, this is also focusing on yourself, because I have just done this without recording it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I do these things also without the camera. But sometimes the camera can help me get into things. But then I also have to see that I'm also gonna do it without filming myself. Which brings me back to doing things without a camera. So at the moment there is a video being rendered, finally alive. It's gonna take some time. But while this is being rendered, I can do other things. I feel drawn to the outside. But first I wanted to do this. I felt like I just wanted to do this. And I'll probably not record the whole thing. Later I'm probably gonna listen to Lord of the Rings, the audiobook. And then I'm going to, or maybe the part of the Silmarillion. And then I'm gonna keep finishing this garment. And then I'm gonna show you how it looks when it's done, right? For me, nothing's, I mean, what's perfect? I just like putting in the work, right? And then I like having clothes that I transformed. Because now this is from someone else, but I want to make it my own. And if I want to make it my own, then I have to put in the work. So, right, this is also about dreams, dreaming. If you are living somebody else's dream, then, you know, it may look like Mad God, but you can live your own dream, right? And at the same time, maybe to some people this is inspiring, but if I imagine a child watching Mad God, then I'd rather not have this, because, like I said, it's simply the ravings of a diseased mind, of a mind that is at a dis-ease, because he could have harmonized himself before making this, but he didn't. And so, to me, I mean, okay, if this was his first work, and there is beauty in it, I have to admit that as well. There is beauty in it, but it's just a bit too much of the dirty stuff. But maybe I have to give it more of a chance, you know, that's really hard to say. But all I can say is I find it disgusting. And every time I try spending time with it, I just think, okay, this is just disgusting. I mean, it's not the kind of Michelangelo, right? That's more like the Michelangelo just came out of hell or something. I mean, that's not like Mona Lisa or anything. I mean, I'm just naming the things where you would say it's kind of beautiful, the way it's been captured or whatever. It's just, what is this? I mean, is this nature? No, I would say it's more a form of life. Oh wow, the audiobook 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's more like, what is it? It's not nature. It's certainly very disturbed. It's more like, maybe it's something like spirit world, because he's being, I mean, he goes down. So you could say he's going into underworld, but that's not underworld. Underworld has all kinds of facets. It's not what I would call this. Because underworld, well, maybe Harry Dresden described it. it has beautiful things and ugly things and, you know, just everything together. I mean, if you think that a naked mole rat is ugly, well then, you know, what are naked mole rats to each other? I mean, you can see beauty in a spider, you can see beauty in everything. It's called acceptance. Simply seeing it in all its facets. I mean, a naked mole rat may look weird, but how do we look like? I mean, you know, what I see is, wow, you know, managed to survive, managed to survive, managed to survive, you know. And naked mole rats probably still like the creative process, you know, that kind of stuff. So as an artist, you should always strive to, or artist at life, you should always start to improve. I mean, not just improve for the sake of improving, but simply improving because you see that, you know, you can actually do it better. And that, of course, brings me back to Tantra. If you start, I mean, you should strive to get better at it. So you should hone your body, hone your skills, be flexible, you know, and then you can get the most out of an experience with another being. But if you're just wobbly and just sit all day, I mean, that's when you're stuck at missionary and then doggy, and I mean, that's not really the idea of connecting with another being. Because why should I connect with you if you're too lazy to hold planks? I mean, energy should be flowing so we can hold this posture for a very long period of time. And that's when you start seeing the beauty in this. I mean, just doing the act then isn't enough. I mean, you should really want to be connected and stay connected. And that's also just the connection to spirit in general. Okay, but I have some projects, and before I'm gonna waste all of this on this recording, and this is just supposed to be an inspiration. So I'm gonna turn this off. And just let you look around in your own world what there is to seize.